Erin from NOSH, and I'm here at Expo East 2019 in Baltimore with Charles Coristine, the CEO of LesserEvil. And so Charles, the brand has gone through a couple of iterations over the years. Can you just tell us a little bit about where it started and how it's changed and evolved to where it is today with the rebrand?
A lot of this stuff that I branded was just my own inspiration, and there wasn't really a lot of thinking behind it. You know, so I launched this line of Bootable popcorn, and then I launched a line of Paleo Puffs, and I had put a spiritual bear on one and a laughing Buddha on the other. There wasn't really a lot of thought around brand hierarchy and pulling it all together. And as we got a little bit bigger, people weren't recognizing that LesserEvil was the master brand anymore. It was like Bootable, Paleo Puffs, what's what. So we decided this year to spend a little bit of money and unify everything around one brand name.
What has kind of been the through line through the products from starting to end? What has kind of been the value that stayed with you guys?
Ingredients mean everything.
Okay.
So we want to be the guys to provide organic at the same price as conventional, and then higher value add in terms of oils, salts, no refined sugar, a brand that people can really trust. We want to basically not just use better for you, we want to use good for you ingredients. And so we became much more ingredient obsessive.
And when you're kind of taking a look at your ingredients, how do you figure out what's a trend and what's something that really has staying power? What's something you can determine you want to go all in on that?
That's a good question. That's kind of a gut call. You know, like when you look at keto and a lot of the stuff that's happening, we kind of like, if the ingredient isn't something we really know or makes sense to us, we probably don't want to use it. I mean, so a lot of these different sugar alcohols, everyone says they're safe and they're, but we don't really understand the food science behind it. So all the ingredients we want are basically straight, aren't processed, or basically straight from the ground.
And with your new rebrand, you guys have kind of talked about how you're focusing on being a vessel for mindfulness. Like, can you talk a little bit about what that means?
That's just me kind of expressing myself on the package. I think food is a really big part of that lifestyle and how the food's sourced. Obviously, we were made of energy, and that, the food intake is a big part of how you feel, so that just is me kind of going off a little bit.
So when you're doing a rebrand, how do you kind of figure out what you want to hold on to and what you want to kind of move on from? Like, what informs the rebrand? How do you know when it's time to change?
We get specialists that help us. We felt like the Laughing Buddha was a big part of who we were as a brand. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to keep him on the package. We thought that would keep some continuity behind the brand. And then as we launched different products, we used him as a bust, and we would add different components and make him different. But it was still the same guy on everything, which would make the brand certainly recognizable, in the store.
And through all these rebrands, have you kind of kept consumers along the ride with you? How have they evolved with you, or how have you kind of engaged them through all the change?
By speaking in the same voice. If you look at our website and look at the branding on the back of the package, we still have the same brand. It's just things are a little tighter, but we're still speaking in the same language.
And how have consumers influenced at all any of the changes you've made? Have you kind of gone off feedback or anything like that?
We listen to what consumers think. So we get a lot of emails and stuff like that asking and, or pointing us in the right direction. So a lot of our brand innovation, like we're looking at making improvements to our egg white girls, are based on what consumers think. So they ask us, hey, there's 12 net carbs in this. Do you think you could drop the net carbs a little bit? It'll make it a better product. So we actually listen to what people have to say, and we are constantly innovating. We have no problem changing ingredients on any of our products.
And you guys also have some new packaging that's more sustainable, and I know that you guys have kind of been focusing on having sustainably sourced, more locally sourced ingredients. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So sustainability is a big part of who we are. We obviously are an organic food brand. Mm-hmm. So we've now, we energy efficiency in our factory, we compost our waste, and we felt packaging was a big thing for the future. Plastic, any of these, any of the stuff that goes into landfill, we want to see if we can make a difference with. So we've added Neo to all our film, and what that does is meant to speed up how fast it biodegrades in the landfill. We've heard that it can take 2 to 3 years versus a couple hundred years with conventional film. So we don't know the efficacy exactly, but we think it's a big improvement to what most people are using for film.
And does owning and operating your own factory make it a lot easier to
to do
practice
those
all
stuff.
that?
Yeah. Basically, owning your own factory allows you to innovate, allows you to use a bunch of different ingredients that a lot of co-packers won't touch, and it allows you to use different films that potentially that wouldn't run on their film equipment. So we can pretty much do whatever we want in our little facility.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, and enjoy the rest of Expo.
Oh, thanks, Erin. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.